Recently, I posted a story on my Instagram, basically just saying that I take this supplement. I want to just say that I am in no way sponsored by this company. I'm kind of like a free spirit when it comes to supplementation. I don't like to be tied down by one supplement company. Obviously, I was with a company that was with supplements for a long period of time, which is what a lot of people know me for. But after ending that, I decided that I would never push a supplement that I didn't believe in or I didn't know for sure worked for me, and then I would just give reviews on how it helped me, and then what it did for me, and then what it helped in, what it aided in, and if there are any things that I didn't like or I thought that were detrimental from taking that supplement. So a little bit background on me: I was diagnosed with ADHD when I was a kid. My parents didn't believe in medication, so basically it was just kind of like one of those things that, like, hey dude, you just gotta tough it out. You're just not paying attention good enough. Just try a little harder. And if you have ADHD, with me, it was like pretty severely. Like, I would like to fight a lot because I felt misunderstood. I just wouldn't pay attention because that wasn't the way I learned. I'm so hands-on. I have to be there in person, grabbing things, people talking to people, them explaining me face to face, showing me, handing it to me, and then that's how I learned. So I didn't know I learned like that until college, and then once I started approaching learning that way, then I was 3.5 and above. I think I ended my college career on the dean's list. So if by ending high school, I was like 2.7. I wasn't very good. I just was good at football. So also, I'm not able to pay attention. But in college, I had I had documented like maybe 8 concussions throughout my 5-year career in college. I played fullback and linebacker, so every day I'm hitting. I've been knocked out of games. I've gone to other sidelines. So I've had a lot of concussions, and that's not me bragging. It's actually something that I'm very scared about with the new evidence for CTE. I was very close with the Seau family when Junior took his own life. I think that was back in like 2013. I was actually training for the NFL, and that was the biggest decision towards me just stop playing football. I was gonna try to make a practice squad and really try to keep my dreams alive of being a professional football player, but I decided not to once I heard of the news of Junior Seau, like a long-time fan of him and close with his family. I played with his nephew at San Diego State. So it was a very eye-opening thing for me, so that's why I stopped playing ball. I knew I'd try to kill myself trying to make the team. But with all those concussions, now I have sometimes a hard time focusing. Sometimes there's a little bit of mood swings and just like little dips in happiness and in sadness, like things like that. So I've been spending the last like 6-7 years trying to find something that could even out my mood and then could keep me focused, because then I could literally be working on something and then be deterred, and then I would be working on something completely different for a couple hours and totally push the other thing aside. And so I needed to figure out something to get me going. So as an adult, I went and got checked out again for ADHD, and they were like, yeah, you have pretty severe ADHD. So they prescribed me Adderall, which is a common ADHD drug. Now, at first it was cool, and everybody rants and raves about Adderall, but I took it, and then I loved it at first, and then it started having like really, really bad symptoms, headaches, like just brain fog. I felt like a zombie. I wasn't as happy as I used to be. I would just be, melatonin. I would just kind of be sitting there just being very mellow and then not having any personality. I felt like I was just kind of dying, like basically like just I was like dead inside. But I was very productive, and I was having a hard time sleeping, obviously, because it's like basically like 1 or 2 ingredients away from methamphetamine. So I made a conscious decision that I would stop doing that. I didn't want it to become a bad habit for me and to have any long-term brain effects for me, because I felt like I was starting to lose that edge about me. So I was like, I wasn't as sharp. And then I felt like I needed it just to do anything. Like I would just wake up and then just take it because I felt like I needed that energy or that focus just to get through my day. So it was actually, if I ran out of my prescription, it was hard for me to do anything after that. And I was like, man, I think I'm relying on this a little bit too much. So I made that conscious decision, like I'm just gonna completely stop this cold turkey. I don't suggest that. Talk to your physician, talk to your doctor, talk to someone who knows more than I do. But for me, that's what I did. It's either 0 or 100 for me, and I was like, I just can't. I'm just done with that. So I had done a lot of research on what could I take that was more naturally stimulating for me to focus, to get my work done better. Because with online programming, there's points that I'd have to be sitting at my computer for 15 to 20 hours straight, just programming clients' workouts for the week. And for someone who for ADHD, that is not applicable at all. I would be getting up every 5 minutes, and then something that should took me, 6-7 hours will take me 4 or 5 days to do because I can't stay on task. So then I stumbled upon this supplement from Onnit. So it's Onnit. So I'll just do a little small review on this. The first way I saw this was actually through the Joe Rogan podcast. I'm a big fan of Joe Rogan. I think he's one of the smarter guys who has podcasts right now, and is very down to earth, and it seems like he's very real. I don't think I've ever met him. No, I'm pretty sure I haven't met him, but I just really liked what he had to say about it. So I was like, I've actually never bought a supplement myself. Ever since I was a child, maybe since I was like 18 years old, I've actually never bought a supplement from that time. Everyone's always wanted to sponsor me, give me free supplements, whatever. So this was the first product that I actually ever went out and bought myself. So that means I really wanted to see if what people were saying about it was true. So the first thing I tried was the Alpha Brain, and that's the memory and focus. So hands down, this is the best supplement I've ever taken. I'm not, like I said, they don't pay me. I've never even spoken to me. I've never received anything from them. So this was me going out of my own pocket and then buying this just because I wanted to get better. I was losing my memory. Small things like didn't know where I put my keys at. I forgot that I'd put things somewhere, and so then I would always question my girl, like, hey, did you move my keys? Did you move where my phone at? And so that started scaring me a little bit, especially with all the evidence for CTE coming out and all the brain damage stuff. So I really wanted to do something proactively to try and reverse that cycle. So that's the first thing I tried. What do I get from it? I get the similar effects of what Adderall did, without the jitter feeling, without the I felt like when I was on Adderall, I was like looking down the barrel of a gun, like a sniper rifle. Like it was so focused in, and nothing else mattered around me. Like I just didn't see anything else. But with this, there's the same focus, but it's not such a laser focus that I can't multitask. Because with Adderall, I couldn't multitask. It was like, boom, I'm in, and I wouldn't try to do anything else. So yeah, I was productive in that sense, just one thing, getting it done at a really fast rate and efficiently. But I wasn't able to spread myself through other tasks. And that I have a problem with that, because that's one of my biggest attributes, is that I'm able to be efficient for a lot of things, because that's one of the superpowers of someone with ADHD. They can do a lot of things at a high rate and get them done very efficiently. And that's one thing I've always been able to do. But ever since I had taken Adderall, I felt like I lost that edge. And that's why I kind of regretted taking Adderall for a couple years, and wish I had been finding something more natural before I had taken that, which is kind of weird, because doctors will jump straight to prescribing you medication, and I don't believe in that anymore. I believe in more the holistic views. I feel like there's always a way around it. You don't have to take medication. The pharmaceutical companies are so driven on getting you addicted to things, and then so they can keep deriving money out of the individual. And if you have 1 billion individuals that are addicted to a bunch of shit, man, you're just raking in money for these people, and they don't see the bodies that are falling from it. They just see the dollars that are bringing in from them. So I really recommend the Alpha Brain. This is actually, I'm telling you, hands down, the best supplement that I've taken for my brain. My memory is ridiculous. My work capacity for things that I used to just really feel so dull about, like reading or memorizing, or just average daily things, it made it much more enjoyable for some reason. I'm able to remember a lot better. And then once I remember things, I can regurgitate them much more easily. Like I can just tap into my memory bank and I can regurgitate that stuff, because it seems like it makes it easier to make things long-term memory now. So I don't have to study things as hard, because you have two separate memory bases. It's your short-term memory and your long-term memory. I feel like it's pushing a lot more of my short-term memory into long-term, as long as I make it a priority. So if I'm reading a book that I really enjoy, a lot of the things that I'm reading I can comprehend a lot better, because I have more space in my memory bank. That's what it feels like. Like it's almost like you put a bigger hard drive on your computer. And now I'm taking in more information, I'm remembering more information, and then I'm able to regurgitate that information out and teach others at a much more efficient rate. So that's the first one. And I, I haven't really looked at the or the actual ingredients inside of it. I recognize a few of them, but they're all pretty much supplement or ingredients that I've never really seen in your average like supplement company brands or products. A little thing that I know that companies do is that they'll just recycle products. So if they didn't work with a name, then they'll just recycle that product, put another name on it, and then basically just try to sell that product off the popularity of the brand's name. Okay, so I've never seen a product with this type of ingredients in it. I heard that they actually microdose shrooms in it, or mushrooms, and I don't want to be like weird about it, or I don't know how people feel about psychedelics, but there's a lot of research and evidence that shows that psychedelics at a microdosing dose helps with ADHD, with depression, with anxiety, all these things. The release of dopamine, the creation of dopamine, and serotonin. So all the things that produce happy feelings, all things that can help you focus better. So I'm pretty sure this is the product that I've heard of it, but I didn't look into it in depthly. But I think they do play with the microdosing of shrooms or something like that. I've heard of that. So I don't really suggest like doing a bunch of psychedelics, but I have tried mushrooms, and I did it in a way to try and like do almost studies on it for myself, because I was getting not desperate, but I was really wanting to find a different way to deal with my ADHD and my lack of like being able to focus, because it was no matter how hard I tried, I just couldn't focus on things, like, and it was so frustrating. I couldn't sit down, I'm always fidgeting, and like, you know, like it just felt like my body was so repellent to sitting down and focusing. So I tried a little bit of mushrooms just to see if the evidence that I seen on the computer or just through research studies was true, and I did feel an increased amount of focus on things. And now they're starting to make it legal for the microdosing for people who do have, you know, clinically diagnosed things that can be helped with that. So I would say ask your doctor before using any type of supplement. But with this, it's been the number one thing that helped me with my ADHD, with my concussions, and I felt like it maybe helped with my headaches too, because I used to have like chronic headaches from all the concussions, from the inflammation of the impacts and stuff like that. So I used to take ibuprofen or Advil almost daily for it just felt like pressure behind my eyes would go blurry. It just felt like my brain was couldn't fit inside my skull anymore. And I think that was from a lot of the inflammation from the impacts that I experienced when I played college football. So I would recommend this if you have ADHD, before you go and try and get Adderall, Concerta, Vyvanse, any of those things that a doctor would prescribe, Ritalin, for someone with attention deficit disorder. Try the Alpha Brain. It's something that's over the counter. It's not gonna kill you to try something that's more natural, opposed to a medication that's from a doctor, from a pharmaceutical company. This actually is sold at CVS. So whenever I need a refill or get anything, I just go to CVS. It's right down the street, and I just buy it. The second product that I've used from Onnit is the New Mood. So one thing that I've always known, and everyone's basically known about, you know, if you have any depression or anxiety, or if you're just not feeling as happy as you feel like you should, the one ingredient that everybody pretty much knows that you might want to supplement is 5-HTP, which is a main ingredient in this. So this one actually says it promotes mood and relaxation, promotes serotonin production. So that's what I was talking about earlier. And it supports a daily calm. So since I have like that attention disorder, like I do getting a lot of anxiety, because the procrastination that I have causes anxiety, you know, because I try to put things off because I know that I can't focus, and it's very frustrating. So I'm like, pushing off work, I'm pushing off tasks that I know that need to be handled, but that causes anxiety because I feel like that stuff starts to pile on my plate, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like now it's unbearable. Like there's so much work that needs to be done, and then I just kind of go into this mode of anxiety, and it causes like this angst in my life. This one has helped a lot when I just take it as needed. I usually don't take it every day, but I think it might recommend that you take it every day. They have a pill form too for this, but I just take a drink once I'm feeling a little bit of anxiety. If I feel like a little overwhelmed about something, this will instantly kind of calm me down. I actually took some this morning, so I'm feeling very calm, relaxed. But I definitely recommend these two. I know they have a bunch of other supplements that they do. Like there's like a mushroom one that they use for like performance and performance enhancing and conditioning, stuff like that, strength training. So I think they have like maybe 15 products, but the ones that I really honed in on was the memory and focus, because when I have ADHD, I have a bunch of concussions that I dealt with that's causing all these long-term effects, me as an adult now in my professional career. So instead of going the pharmaceutical way with a doctor and an Adderall, the things that I did before, and I felt like almost made me worse in the process, I wanted to find a more natural thing that could actually push me better to my goals, and then not pile up those procrastination tasks for me to actually feel like the world is against me. Almost like that's almost what it feels like. This big wall is falling on top of you, and that causes so much anxiety. So the combination between these two, I recommend, especially if you have ADHD, and if you're trying to get off Adderall. Like if you're taking Adderall and you're feeling like this, it almost feels like you're crashing all the time. Like you get these ups and downs, and then these downs are really low and these highs are really high, and there's no medium. And that's what I always felt like. I always felt like there was no medium between where I was feeling with the Adderall. Like, yeah, the production was there. I was making good money. I had like 150 to 200 clients a month, so I was making good money. I had my gym. I had all these businesses, and I had to do that stuff just like to take Adderall just to keep up with that workload. But now that I'm in a better place mentally, because I took proper steps in my mental health, and now I'm not trying to overwork myself, but I'm doing it with my passion. So as much as my passion allows me to do, or like my capacity, and these two supplements have aided in a lot of that. So they've kept me calm, they've kept me focused, they kept my memory at a high peaking point, so I can regurgitate everything that I'm learning and then turning it into long-term memory. So if you're weary about it, do some more research about it. But I would never tell anyone to take anything that I literally haven't been taking. I've been taking this product for maybe 7-8 months now, and I have nothing but good things to say about it. And I know some people have tried it, and I'll be completely honest, they told me that they felt like a little nauseous feeling at the beginning when they first started taking it, but it usually had gone away. I never got any nauseous feeling. My girl takes it too. She doesn't feel a nauseous feeling. I guess you just have to try it yourself and see if it works for you. But for me, the combination between New Mood and then the Alpha Brain Memory and Focus has been very, very crucial for my my improvement in my memory and my focus and everything that correlates with the work that I've been trying to do. So I hope this helps. Comment below and I'll try to elaborate as much as I can, but I definitely recommend this supplement.